G'day guys, and welcome to our video today on the blue ocean strategy and applying this to recruitment. Now, a few people have asked me off the back of an email we sent recently around how can we actually apply this tangibly? Like in theory, it sounds amazing, but how can we tangibly apply this to healthcare for recruitment purposes? And I'm going to get into that in just a second. But before I do, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. It helps us to help more people, to reach more people, and to create a larger impact. All right, my friends, now that you've done that one, thank you very much. Let's talk about this. Now, in the email, one of the things I talked through was how we can apply the blue ocean strategy, which is just really quickly. Red ocean is where we're all competing over the exact same thing. So we're all on Seek, we're all in the associations, we're all running the same ads, competing over a small logo, a PD budget, and a salary, whatever it may be, okay? That's the red ocean. The blue ocean is how are people doing it differently? How are people thinking differently, thinking outside the box, and hiring effectively because they're not competing over the same red ocean over here. Now, one way that I have seen this done that has been particularly good, okay, has been really focusing on what are the clients that the business is servicing. So think of it this way. Now, I use physio because I'm a physiotherapist. Apply this to your industry. Now, I'm sure that there's a type of clientele that people in your industry or your ideal team members love working with. They love it. It's amazing. It fires them up. It juices them up. These clients, write them down really specifically. Who are those clients? And I'm sure there's also clients that they really don't enjoy working with, and they're not your ideal clients at the clinic. What I'd like you to do is write down both of those, because if you focus on getting less of the clients that you really don't want at your clinic and more of those people, your ideal clients, the people that really juice you up, that fire you and your team up, more of them at your clinic, that can be a real marketing strategy to get more ideal team members. Because think of it this way. Now, I reflect on this, and I was a shoulder physio. So I loved seeing shoulders. And if I saw my diary with 14 shoulders, 16 shoulders, 20 shoulders in a day, I was excited. I was genuinely excited because I felt confident. I enjoyed what I did. And I was working with people that I knew I could help. Okay. It gave me so much inspiration and motivation to do that. But when I saw 5 or 6, say, chronic low backs, chronic hips, things like that, things that I wasn't as good at, I wasn't as confident in doing those things. Those are the things that made me feel a little bit burnt out. I could have half the clients for the day, but clients that I wasn't particularly inspired to work with. And I definitely felt more burnt out at the end of the day compared to twice as many clients, but the ones I really wanted to work with. And so think about a strategy like this for your own business, where you can have more of the ideal clients and market that to potential team members. So they're thinking, wow, this is where I want to work because these are the types of people that I want to work with. And if you go one step further, I know clinics that go and get professional sports teams, and that's their recruitment, okay? They may lose money on the professional sports team that they work with, but they gain the money back and they essentially win from the recruitment strategy behind this. Ingenious, isn't it? Let's think of a few other options here. Won't take up too much of your time, but think of a few other options here. Another one that jumps to mind for me is, can we, if everyone's saying we will take anyone, can we go the opposite and say, we won't just take anyone? In fact, there's an application process. You need 3 years minimum experience working in this area. Can we actually put some hurdles in the way? Now, I do know a couple of clinics around Australia that have done this and have probably been doing this for, say, at least 10 years. And what they've done is they've created an air of status about working at the clinic. And so people will literally work in an area, serve out the time at another clinic so they can then apply to work at these clinics. So what they've done is they've actually made it more desirable by making it harder to get. If you think of, say, luxury brands, a lot of luxury brands will actually make it hard to buy the things, okay? Because when it's harder to get, people value it more. And so if in your job ad, it's, we'll take a new grad or a bit of experience or a therapy assistant or really anyone, we really need someone. And you may really need someone, but maybe the thought process here could be to go the opposite way and make it harder for people to be able to get the role. And when people are looking into that, it then may make them think, well, if this clinic over here is willing to take anyone, and this clinic over here is super specific, well, this must be a better clinic because more people must want to work there. Again, it's not to say that this is the best strategy, but it's a strategy that I've seen work. And it's one of those counterintuitive strategies by making things a little bit harder and working on the status side of things. And even just on that, as a bit of a retention piece, I do see clinics doing this quite well, where they actually go from junior physio to associate physio to senior to principal and things like that. And when you think about this, and I really like how law firms have done this. I think they've done it really well, is they give people a bit of a ladder to climb in private practice. And if you think for us in healthcare, if we look at the public sector, one of the things the public sector does well is they have a ladder to climb. And people get this status. It's not just a pay increase, it's the status, it's the job title. It's being able to be proud of what they're doing and see growth in their role to be able to tell their friends and family, hey, I'm now a senior, I'm now a principal, whatever it may be. And for them, changing roles becomes much harder if they're going to lose that status or the name of their role, their title, essentially. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about how can I create a retention program? It's how can we give people more of what they really want? And it's not always money. So there are a couple of ways to think through the recruitment challenge according to the blue ocean strategy. I'd love to hear in the comments, what would you or how would you do this? Thinking completely differently. So trying to go the opposite way. So move away from just competing on that red ocean strategy over here, just the classic CCADs. Where would you go? How could you do this entirely differently? And one more thing before I go. Now, this was my favorite. I did see this the other day. There was a clinic that offered a job on Seek, and the job was titled the worst speech pathology job in Australia. I clicked on that one and I went in and it jotted down 5, 6 reasons why it was the worst. Pretty comical, actually. And then it went into the more serious job ad. But how many people, how many speech pathologists do you reckon click through? What do you reckon their click through rate was compared to every other job ad? I couldn't scroll past that and not click into it. And then I genuinely read the ad. So if everyone's doing one thing, sometimes it can pay to do the exact opposite, even if it makes no sense. The worst speech pathology job in Australia. On that note, my friends, I will leave you to come up with your own blue ocean strategies to think about how you can implement this knowledge to help you to grow your clinic. And thank you very much for smashing the like and the subscribe button. Like I said, it helps us to reach more people, to help more people, and to create a bigger impact. I'll see you in the next lesson, my friends.